How we doing? Welcome back to the stream, everybody. What is good? What's going on? Thank you very much for joining me today, to those of you that have joined so far anyway. Let me just see if I can get my phone to charge. There we go. And yeah, welcome back to another stream. We've got a quite interesting day today, haven't we? We've got Bitcoin just absolutely slam dunked this morning. And when we say slam dunked, we mean absolutely slam dunked, don't we? The thing got absolutely crushed. I mean, it had been obviously bleeding down anyway, hadn't it? But we got absolutely crushed, and Stonksy obviously caught it beautifully from up above 115,500-ish. So yeah, mega catch by Stonksy there, trading it to the downside. But yeah, Bitcoin is within quite an interesting point, I would say, you know, from now on. Firewatch, how we doing? Great to see you, champ. Discipline, what's good, mate? Welcome back. And obviously to anyone else that's here that hasn't commented yet, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're feeling optimistic and you know, ready to tackle the week in whatever way it is that you're ready to tackle the week. But I mean, overall, yeah, we've obviously had some big weakness in Bitcoin, which has obviously catapulted the market down. We'll obviously take a look at altcoins in just a minute, but I do want to just look at the Bitcoin chart because, I mean, yeah, obviously really, really strong sell-off. You know, we bled down, obviously, from Thursday. We reached just shy of 118K, then bled down, didn't we, into Friday night. Then we got some kind of, you know, little small rebound up to 116K. And then, obviously, we got one push down earlier this morning, and then obviously just a follow through, just absolute nuke to the downside, very, very strong, and a very harsh push to the downside. I actually think it came within like 10 minutes, didn't it? Yeah, so 2 5-minute candles is what it came in. 2 5-minute candles, and then it was just all over. However, Bitcoin has obviously leveled off. We kind of come back down, filled in some of this wick. We haven't taken the bottom of the wick yet, but we filled in some of this wick, and it's obviously now just low time frame, just consolidating within this zone here. So, you know, could we stay here for today? We definitely could. You know, we could come and fill the wick in, whatever. Let me know in the chat, what are you expecting for the next move on Bitcoin? Are you maybe thinking that we're going to go down lower? Are you thinking we maybe just consolidate here now? Are you thinking we're going to, you know, rebound back to the upside? What are we thinking? Oh God, says Bobby. Bobby, are you sweating in your Pepe position, mate? I actually closed, I'm not gonna lie, I actually closed my Pepe and Ton swing positions over the weekend and took a small loss on them. I think they each closed out for around 15% negative P&L, which is a good job. I did, but I have gone long again on Pepe today with a bit more size, a bit lower leverage, but a bit more size. So I've toned the leverage a bit. I wasn't long leverage anyway. I think the one I had open last week was like 6x maybe. But I've toned it all the way down to 2x, but I've put more size on. So it's obviously a bit more controllable in this market. But I think obviously, you know, you look across the market, things are bleeding big time. Could be, you know, potentially the time to punt. Not financial advice, of course, but you know, when things get in this position, obviously it's that saying in it, by the blood. Much better entry for you, sir. I'm only spot. Oh, right, okay. Yeah. Well, I would feel very optimistic about that. I'd feel very optimistic. I mean, the thing is, I've gone in with a bit more size on 2x leverage, which I consider 2x. Obviously, it's not holding spot, but you know, it's obviously as low as you can go without just holding spot, isn't it? And obviously, you know, you can double up your position size then with pretty minimal risk. You know, obviously, if Pepe goes down another 5% from here, for my position, it would obviously go down 10% in terms of, you know, the effect on the price. So I'm not really too fussed on that, but yeah, I'm on Pepe and I'm also on these as well. So some of these have been hit. So Zex, I'm long on this. This is a Solana Perps Dex, because obviously I'm thinking, obviously with Asta, Perps Dex may be the meta going into Q4, obviously with Hyperliquid as well. My average entry on this is like 15 cents, so I'm a little bit down on this, but not terribly, to be fair. It's a low cap and it is rebranded. And again, obviously not financial advice, but blue is the perp dex on Sui. So again, you know, if we're going to have some perp dex meta and narrative going into Q4 with obviously hype and an Asta, then, you know, obviously we could see it follow into other change with dex and blue being positioned for it. And then I'm also long on Hook. I think, again, I'm kind of down on this one. I think my average entry on Hook was about 12.50-ish, something like that. But again, on Zex, I'm holding spot. Then on Blue and Hook, I'm on 2x. So again, nothing really to worry about yet. You know, I'm down maybe 15% in terms of like a price movement standpoint, but nothing to be worried about just yet. Anyway, the reason for Hook is obviously just the fact it's a CZ coin. It's a coin that YZI Labs are invested in, and obviously it has been beaten up, but has formed somewhat obviously of a stable bottom for now. So that's what I'm on to anyway, just them three and Pepe. So that's currently my positions. Glad to see my little spot bag of Asta is still doing well. Yeah, mate, that's had a great pump. That honestly, I'm kicking myself that I didn't buy some of that when I saw it. Was expecting a drop to around 111k, but was waiting for it to enter 116k from yesterday, so could enter a short around it. Yeah. I think you waited maybe just a bit a day late, maybe. Yeah, a day late. I think it touched 116k on Saturday, didn't it? Yeah, Saturday it touched 116k. So unfortunately, you was a day late, but who cares? You know. On to the next one, mate. On to the next one. What else have we got? Mike's going in and out a bit. Let me check. Okay. It may just be the internet then, because my mic is connected as it should. It may just be it may just be a bit of lag on the internet. But yeah, let me know in the chat. Do you think we've reached the bottom? What is Asta doing? Let's see. 155. So holding strong, to be fair, isn't it? Holding strong. I can't believe this. When I saw this, it was at 500 mil, so it wasn't even like super early, but wasn't super late either, and I just didn't buy any. Unbelievable. Yeah, it haunts me. I'd be like 5x up now, and obviously at the top would have been like a 6x. So, god damn it. But yeah, we move on to the next. So hopefully, you know, you never know. If the narrative continues for Dex Perps, then I am positioned in them too. And obviously, hopefully, Hook gets a nice pump as well. But yeah, what are you expecting from here onwards? What are you expecting? Even if we are going to continue more down, I think it makes sense to go up from here and at least squeeze some shorts. Obviously, got a big fair value gap here. So yeah, I think that's kind of. Let me see. I'll tell you what it might be. Hang on. There we go. How's that? Is that a bit better? Hang on. How's that? Is that a bit better? I've just I didn't realize I had my VPN turned on. So maybe that was having an effect. Yeah, maybe that was having an effect. Let me just message someone. Just need to message Baldy McGinged. Oh, you're moving your volume up and down. Fair enough then. Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, I think you need these liquidation events, don't you, before we go back to the upside. Now, whether obviously it's done or whether there is actually, when you look at it, obviously levels here as well. You can obviously pinpoint liquidity areas here. You've got liquidity area here, and we've got liquidity area here, obviously, and then you start going into the low then. So there is actually liquidity levels to the downside, just looking for the naked eye. That could be of interest to Bitcoin still from here. We just obviously don't know whether it's going to go that low or not. But it's not a million miles away. The only thing you can say is obviously alts would get mightily crushed. If we have a look now, you've got ETH down 6% today, and there you go. ETH back into, I've not even changed these levels. I've not changed these levels once since. And, ETH just back into the... So, yeah, back into the zone of interest for buying. It could go lower, might not do, who knows. But yeah, it's back in there. And as you can see, we actually touched the 4-hour outer band, which is something you don't see often. You don't actually often see an actual, clean touch like that of the outer channel there. Look at that, just pinpointed there at 480. Pump, yeah, started selling off pretty much before anything else, didn't it? I think it basically started selling off before anything else, and obviously just nuked down. So that's a big retrace on pump now. That is down from its high 40% already from its high. Obviously formed a distribution range and then sold off. That's down 8%. I did actually give the local bottom on that in the Discord over the weekend. I don't know if anyone got onto it, but I mentioned it when it was, in and around here. And then we obviously got the pump up to 7.5, 7.6. So that was a nice little, low time frame trade there for anyone that got in on it. Anyway, I don't know if anyone did. XRP is down 5%. Look at that. Levels are leveling. There we go. So XRP still trapped within its 4-hour trading range, as you can see. And obviously we didn't get the break above. We stopped at resistance again and then sold off. So obviously we didn't get this push up to the next level of interest higher. But what we did do is obviously come down into the grey area and then bounced. So yeah, levels are leveling on XRP. Sol, again, another one. It went a bit deeper actually than what we was looking at. Went a bit deeper, but it did come into 215, 216-ish. I was looking kind of around 220, but, the velocity on Bitcoin probably just took it a bit lower. But yeah, nonetheless, closed its the last 2 4-hour candles above 220, so it's a good sign. BNB has had a retrace, obviously not as deep as some of the others, but that is obviously just on its own trajectory. Doge, big sell-off, 8%. Wow. Add 7%. If there's anything that you specifically want me to look at, let me know. Link, there you go. Look at that. Link levels just torn through. It got mightily close there, didn't it? By like 20-30 cents away from the zone of interest. And again, probably just halted by Bitcoin's fast pump back up. But very, very close down there on Link. Now, obviously, we are within here. So as long as, if we get back in here for the 4-hour, I think what we could probably do with this is maybe just pull that down a bit. Yeah, if we get back within there, then Link maybe looking a bit better. AVAX, again, pull back on AVAX after what is, being a great rally on it. Sui, back into, again, back into the zone of interest. OM, DOT, never does anything. OM, look at OM, there we go. I mean, it's been a bloody long time, innit? It's been a bloody long time since we looked at that on OM. But there we go, see, still drawn out on OM there. Still drawn out on OM. Stonksy's actually still red on OM as well on a daily from up there, which is wild. But yeah, so there is pretty much for OM now. There's just one more level to the downside, which is obviously another steep drop, but it is down there. And this just keeps falling. But that is, that's a crazy drop on OM. Down 16% today. And holders of that just never getting a good time again, are they? Uni, down 10%. Aave down 10%. Big drop on Aave. Want to enter long, but waiting for wick lower to be covered. So you're waiting for a sweep of the wick, yeah. I mean, typically, sometimes you do see them covered, don't you? You do see them taken. Other times you actually don't. It's a bit weird. Hype. Oh yeah. We'll go and have a look at Hype. MNT, one of the few things that is actually green. Yeah, strange. But yeah, there we go. Tier. There's no let up for this thing, is there? I mean, is that another new low on Tier? Is it just about? Yeah, I think. I don't know. I can't tell. Is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Just not. No, did actually go a bit lower, but not too far off. Not too far off at all. So really testing, obviously, the depths of demand on Tier. Radium. Down almost 10%. OP down. It's just absolute murderous, isn't it, across the market today? Just absolute murder. I mean, Sonic just obliterated. Pi obliterated. And you look at that, that formed quite decent, actually, what you would consider support there throughout August and into September, and then just all gone to waste. I mean, that is a terrible look at the size of that 4-hour candle. Just obviously just nuke straight through. ZRO down 7%. Yeah, there's loads. Is there anything else taking our fancy? I suppose we should probably move Asta up now as well. While that is one of the hot topics in it, if not the hot topic. I can't believe where I saw this. It haunts me. I think this is always going to haunt me now. Anyway, let's look at Hyperliquid. But yeah, this has maybe completed its pullback now, so could maybe inject some life into the market. Hyperliquid, where is it? Here. Yeah, so Hyperliquid, this is where I had obviously the previous, if you notice, the previous resistance came in here just below 50, and if you zoom in on the 4-hour, we actually have obviously respected that. Now we did drop to a low of 46, but again, liquidation wick. So the main thing was that this closed its 4-hour candles back inside. Oh, sorry, we're on the 1 hour now, aren't we? We're on the 1 hour. I do apologize. Don't know how long we've been on the 1 hour for. But again, Stonksy caught a beautiful short on that from 54. But yeah, obviously that closed that. So this did actually close, obviously, its candles back in. Closed the 4-hour candle there. So I actually think Hype's looking all right. And again, did test that diagonal. Obviously had a deep push. But again, closed nicely in there. I think the structure on Hype is looking intact, to be honest. I think it's looking intact. And it's basically just given an SR test of previous resistance, isn't it? It's just given an SR test of previous resistance. So I think Hype is actually probably looking quite good alongside maybe some other things, that you may be looking to take advantage of on this dip. But yeah, I think this is looking quite good. And obviously it will have lost some market share anyway to Asta. So that some of that will have been selling from that, I assume, to people jumping into Asta. But also it was, probably just long overdue, a pretty, routine pullback. So it's undergone that now and has obviously bounced. So could see definitely Hype start to push back towards its highs, if not new highs from here. Again, it's just having a standard SR test, nothing more. Please do make sure, though, if you haven't already, drop a big like on the stream. We're only on 3 likes. So, not all of you have liked. Let me go and I just need to go and tweet it out. Is TMG still live or has he gone off now? Can anyone let me know? Is TMG still live or has he gone off now? Let me see. Is TMG still alive? What did we get? No, he's off. He is still alive. All right, still live. Right, okay. I was just gonna tweet out that I'm live on his account, but that's probably why we've got a little bit less viewers than usual, because he's live as well, which is fine. That's good to know. Thanks for letting me know anyway. Afternoon, Debut. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Hope everyone is keeping fine during this dip. Hopefully you're safe. Hopefully you've not been caught in a wild position that has affected you too much. If you have, chin up, on to the next. There's not much you can do about it now. Our question is, what are we going to get? on US Open, because really, this is probably a time where we need the stock market to hold up, or at least the ETF to start buying up. Bloody hell. Strategy again acquired another $100 million of Bitcoin at 117k. So again, just completely top blasting. Great. This is what I mean about MicroStrategy and these treasury firms. They don't really do anything for supporting the price, do they? They just buy it. They just buy. They don't set bids where Bitcoin needs to hold and give it some support and that. They literally just get the money and they just absolutely just nail it into the market straight away. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, yeah, I've seen he's still live. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. But yeah, I'm keen to see what happens today now. Obviously, you know my positions. I'm long on Pepe, I'm long on Hook, I'm long on Blue, and I'm spot long on Zex. All very low risk positions, low leverage. Not much risk in terms of that front. But I'm keen to see obviously where we can go from here. I am optimistic that we get a bounce. Whether it be the bounce or whether it be a low time frame bounce, whatever. It might take a while. It could take us until the end of September into October before, we start really showing signs of recovering this. But let me know what you guys think. What's this? Oh, why has my phone come off charge? There we go. If you haven't already, please do make sure you drop a like on the stream. Got 4 likes. Come on. So between Firewatch, Discipline, Bobby, and Debut Mastering, one of you guys haven't liked. And obviously there's many more in the chat that haven't liked as well. So come on, let's get the likes going. Let's get the likes pumping up. Pump these likes up. Show me some support. Show me the juice. What is actually happening with the S&P? So we're literally basically just still hovering around the highs, aren't we? We're literally just still hovering around the highs. So there's nothing really even going on in the stock market. So this was literally just a Bitcoin fueled drop, basically, I think, unless it was this. But again, the drop on Bitcoin compared to the S&P 500 is laughable, innit? So 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It's just laughable, the weakness in Bitcoin compared to the stock market. No, so it wasn't even that. See, I don't know. It was just caused by the inside, by the looks of it, inside the industry. Pepe again, no. I do like Pepe here. Do like it. And we are just consolidating. We're just forming a range on Bitcoin. We've just got a low time frame range formed. So now we're just obviously just waiting for something to happen. Now, whether it's baiting shorts or even baiting longs from here, obviously we don't know. How we doing, Short Video Guru? Afternoon, Sean. We all doing a chicken licking and the sky's falling through. One for the oldies. Oh, used to love that film. Oh, honestly, used to love that film. I actually watched it earlier this year, Sean. Proper, nostalgia throwback. It was brilliant. And it's good as you remember. Yeah. Chicken Little. Great film. One for the oldies as well. Isn't that mad? One for the oldies. Doesn't seem that long ago. As long as we get a real alt/meme run by the end of the year, I'm happy. Short-term pain for high time frame gain. Is that what you're saying, Bobby? Yeah. You want to go through some pain to get the gain. Don't we all? Isn't it mad though? We've had this Asta release, which, God knows how high Binance could send this. They could send this to $4, $5 higher. And then we're supposedly having all these other releases coming in Q4 as well, like Base, MetaMask, Meteora, OpenSea, maybe some others. Dream Cash, obviously, for those of you that got on it. It's wild, isn't it, to think about how many tokens are going to just start popping off and what it's actually going to do to the market. Is Powell's speech tomorrow really important? It's a good question, really. Let's see. So what is he doing? So delivers a speech on the economic outlook at the Greater Providence Chamber of Commerce 2025 Economic Outlook luncheon in Warwick, United States. What a mouthful of a sentence that is. I mean, you find it hard to believe he's going to say anything that different compared to last Wednesday, don't you? You know, you find it hard to believe that he's going to say anything really that different to what he said last Wednesday. So I wouldn't say so. Maybe there's a bit of nervousness there from the market, but I wouldn't say so. We do obviously have something tomorrow as well. We got S&P Global Manufacturing and Services PMI, and then on Friday we do have PCE. So there is some data this week as well to be aware of. Apparently so, Bobby. Yeah, apparently so. Which I think is going to open the door. You know, like I said, in Q4 alone, we could have Base token, we could have MetaMask token, OpenSea token, and Meteora token, and that's just like the rumored ones. Obviously, I think basically any project that has been kind of iffy about maybe doing a token has probably just saw what's happened this year and gone, well, all seems legality now. You know, regulation wise, it's fine to do a token, so we'll do one. But I think that probably opens the door for, like, you know, Phantom to do a token. Any other projects, you know, that you can think that Polymarket to do a token. You know, we could have we genuinely could have like probably up to 10 huge token releases in Q4 alone. The only problem with drops like this is when you run out of cash to buy more. I don't think. Oh, with drops like this, yeah. Well, if you're already positioned, then yeah, it can be a bit painful just having to sit through it. But I suppose drops like this is obviously where you get tested in it. You get tested in your conviction and stuff. Are you going to hold? Are you going to close? Are you going to add more? Are you not? We're also just like a test of conviction, and obviously, if you're going to buy blood or not in it. And again, it may not be the time to buy blood. We obviously don't know that until, you know, Bitcoin's next move unfolds. But yeah, if I get any of these airdrops that are coming, I'm just dumping them all straight away. Not holding on to any single one of them. They will all just go straight away. Thank you very much. Thanks for the free money in the bin, and that's it. Right, let me get a poll going anyway. Let me get the poll going. I have a feeling where this one's going to go today. I'd be surprised if it's down, but, you know, I'll let you guys decide. You let me know. Where do you think we're going on US Open? Up or down? I mean, you would think surely we go up, but is that maybe just obviously optimistic of me? Up, then down. Oof. Hi, Nick. How we doing? Those of you that haven't dropped a like, please do drop a like. It will be massively appreciated by myself. So, yeah, please do. And of course, if you're looking to trade anywhere today, we have non-KYC exchanges in the description in BLOFIN and KCEX. So, yeah, if you're looking to trade anywhere, obviously non-KYC, 2 options there. And then we do obviously have Bitunix and Femex as well, which are KYC options. Pellin thinks down then up. Yeah, we could get some initial fear, couldn't we? We could get some initial like downwards pressure, and then maybe some relief going into the afternoon, perhaps. Right. What should we look at next? You guys let me know in the chat what you want me to look at next. Right. Apologies about that. I was just doing something. Right, let's crack on. AVAX. Yeah, let's go and look at AVAX. AVAX still holding up pretty strong, to be fair. AVAX still one of the strongest coins out there. I mean, look at the bounce on it. You know, from it's basically almost fully retraced the dump. And that's like the earlier dump as well on Bitcoin. So that's from like just under 600, from when Bitcoin was at 116k is obviously where the market started dumping. So AVAX has already fully retraced that second part of the dump. Just strong, you know, strong as always. We are still waiting for it to maybe come in for an SR test, as we can see. You know, if you zoom out, obviously the $26 to $27 region was resistance for like 6-7 months. We've broke out and we haven't come back for an SR test of that, but it remains strong in the market. Now, if you notice, if you did obviously look to be buying AVAX, then this was a pretty obvious point to look at. Also, we come out of the inner channel towards the outer channel, which obviously again is another point of saying, okay, maybe sell an exhaustion here and bounce. So, I mean, AVAX still remains in an uptrend, still remains strong in the market. I personally think $41, $40-ish, this region here, is next for AVAX before maybe looking for a retrace. You know, you could definitely see something like this, couldn't you? You know, you could definitely see up to somewhere here, round off, and then maybe come down, and then go back up. You could see something like that for sure, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Bitcoin does, won't we? As well, because at the moment it's not really doing much. It's not really doing much. Oh, look who it is. It's TMG. Hello. Welcome. Talk, Dave. I am talking. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm sending people say hi. Hello to everyone that's come from TMG's stream. Thank you very much for joining me. If you are from TMG stream, make sure you drop a like. And of course, if you're new, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Simon, AVNT. We'll have a look at that. Whoop, whoop. James, I dropped you a Discord message. Have you seen it? I haven't checked if you've replied or not, but I'll drop you a message about your BLOFIN. TMG is here. Asta. Yeah, we'll have a look at Asta. I like inbred Dave. Dave is inbred. I can be inbred today if you want me to be. Hello. Kills of the Week is defending me. He's saying that I'm not inbred. Shits and giggles. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. Leroy, hello. Welcome. A Yorkshireman is promoting someone from Manchester. I'm not from Manchester. How very dare you, boxing fan? How very dare you? I'm offended. I'm not from Manchester. Are you aware of stablecoin made by Tether owner? Check the chart. Or you want me to check USDT? Thank you very much, Shits and Giggles. You're too kind, mate. You're too kind. Gaza, what's up? And Codin says Dave is so tight with his money that Stevie Wonder has seen more sunlight than his wallet. Yeah, mine's the standard, cartoon Mr. Bean when he opens his wallet every time and a fly comes out. Yeah, that's like me. That's like me. For those of you that know, will know. For those of you old enough to have watched cartoon, it's still on now. To be fair, they still have cartoon Mr. Beans on. But obviously, for those of you that know, will know. How are we doing, Gordo? Great to see you. And obviously, yeah, thank you everyone that's joined from TMG stream. Like I said, make sure you do drop a like. Make sure you subscribe as well. And of course, if you are new around here, ask me any questions you want. If you want to know more about Stonksy, whatever. But we do have, obviously, the Stonksy link in the description. And there is still 35% off. 35% off the annual and lifetime plans. So, yeah, links in the description. And these two have 35% off, discounted automatically. But if you do want to come and try it for a month, you can get 20% off your first month with code BOT20. So you have to put the code in on this one, but that gets you 20% off your first month as well on that. But yeah, obviously, if you don't know what Stonksy is, ask some questions in the chat. You probably know it's obviously owned by TMG. So the question is, why have you not come and tried it yet? Nah, man, it's called STBL. Look into it. It's staying strong during this dip. Well, it's a stable coin, isn't it? You said it was a stable coin. So it would do. Or do you mean it's just like got the ticker and the name stable coin, even though it's not stable coin? Let's have a look at World and DOT, if possible. I can do that for you, mate. Well, if you're bullish on it, mate, I'm very happy for you, and I hope you make lots and lots of money on it. And yeah. Anyway, let's see. So you want me to look at World and DOT? Let's have a look at DOT because I know it's up on this list. I mean, yeah, not really too much to say. So for DOT, I mean, I suppose it depends whether you're looking at it high time frame or low time frame. For me, there's nothing really ever changed on DOT. Obviously, if we start getting some real bullish momentum, then we can start looking up. But low time frame wise, anyway, obviously we seem to have formed, another range. Obviously, this is kind of the broader range on DOT here. But as you can see, from July into August into September, this box here has obviously become the range on DOT. But if you actually zoom out, obviously we do have resistance up here, just below 4.6, where Stonksy's got it outlined lovely. So I've just enhanced that with the box. But high time frame wise, obviously up towards $5.40 is really, obviously the key point of resistance going back to 6 months ago. From there, you then obviously have up towards just below $8. Got supply coming in here. And then, of course, the super, super high time frame is just under $11. So they're for me, if you're looking high time frame, they're for me the 3 levels of DOT that you obviously are looking for. Now, obviously, if you go lower time frame, we are stuck currently within this range here. So, we've got 460, 470 coming in as resistance there. And aside from that, there's not really much going on. It's just kind of following the rest of the market. It's not really doing its own thing compared to others like Hype, BNB, and that's really just following the market. So for DOT, you just want market bullishness overall, and obviously market weakness overall has led it to the downside. But it's back come back for a good retest. To be fair, in there, that's a good retest zone. But ultimately, yeah. You do need to see it break above here and then obviously going on to test towards $5.30. So that's DOT. But yeah, obviously bounced at a decent point. So you're wanting World coin next. It's down here somewhere. There it is. World coin is actually it was actually working out all right, wasn't it, at first? And then it's dipped below. So it's actually gone below where I was looking. If I zoom out to show you why. So it's actually gone below where I was looking. However, all is not lost because obviously depending on how you draw your charts and that, there would actually be room and kind of, definite reason to draw it there. So all is not lost on hope on World. This may be just coming in for an SR test. Ultimately, it could also just come in and test this point here, this little interruption that we had. Now, it hasn't gone quite that low yet. but it has come into there. But I think high time frame wise, obviously, you would rather now this confirm an SR test and then start to go back to the upside for sure. And again, if you're looking for up, I've outlined all the levels here. Pause it, screenshot it, whatever. They're my levels of interest. Obviously, got level directly above, zone of interest, and then obviously a level higher there. So if you want to look at that, there you go. What are we getting? What are we getting? No, it's not stable coin. Don't fade it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. If it's on an exchange, I'll look at it. If it's on deck screen, I'm definitely not looking at it. So it is actually on an exchange. Oh, okay. Oh, so it's on quite a few then, isn't it? Let's see. Oh, so it's like a recently launched one. It's done well so far. You know, it did like a 3x, didn't it? From obviously when it launched on MEXC anyway. I'm guessing, you know, this is typically obviously where they first come on. So I'm guessing this is, you know, the most recent price action we've got to go with. Obviously, if you go onto deck screen, I assume, you know, there'll probably be a lot more. I will look at the market cap though. Let's see the market cap. Oh, 190 mil. So it's not massive. You know, it's not massive. You would say it's still relatively quite small. Yeah, I mean, you know, we've not got much to play. You know, you've not got much to really go off, but you know, you could definitely draw a level of interest here. For if we get a retrace down, you know, you definitely want to hold above 20 cents ish. So you could get something like that. Apart from that, obviously we got nothing to the upside, so it would just go on to price discovery. But looks good, man. Yeah, hope you make some good money on it. I hope you make some good money on it. Yes, Scotty, how are we doing? Great to see you. Great to see you. Anything for you, shits and gigs. Anything for you. Can you look at Borg coin? Yeah, let's look at Borg. Let's look at Borg. I believe I've already got my levels of interest outlined for it anyway. So Borg, it's actually doing obviously what we planned for it. Stonksy is also still long on it on the 4 hour as well, from down at 27 cents, which is obviously really nice to see. But if we zoom out on Borg, let's go to say the daily chart actually. We did actually look at this last week. As you can see, it was already drawn out for us because we looked at it last week. So what we was looking for was obviously price to come and flip, you know, obviously the December/January highs, which obviously was resistance and where Borg distributed and then went back to the downside. So what we was looking at last week was obviously for price to come up and then come back down, have some sort of retest and then go on up. Now, as you can see, thanks to the Bitcoin drop today, we have had that retest here. So we didn't actually come up for it really until then. We obviously got the initial candle above and then kind of hung around, and then we did come down for it today. We came down and tested just around 39 cents. So for me, it looks good towards 50 cents next. So 50 cents would be, you know, the next logical place of interest. And then you then obviously start having to go all the way back towards 2021 to get that. But this is a huge, you know, this is obviously a huge flip for Borg. You know, it closed the weekly above there, as you can see. It closed the weekly above where it failed to do in December and January. It came back for the retest today. So for me, 50 cents looks good next. And then really, you're just obviously going on level to level, aren't you? You know, we can make our way down from all-time high. But, you know, you've obviously got here where we've got some obviously weekly resistance there from the close and the open. You've got the all-time... Oh, hang on. You've got the all-time high itself, which is up here. And then from there, we can just make our way down across these weekly peaks. And these will bring us nicely, obviously, in towards each other as well. As you can see, the absorption came up to near close to the other one. But I don't think I would... I mean, you could obviously build an argument to say, you know, maybe somewhere in and around here. I'll tell you what, I'll do that with a box instead, given obviously the weekly absorption there. So these would kind of be my levels that I'd be looking at, I think. Yeah. Now, I obviously hadn't gone that high on Borg just yet, but there we go. So I think from here, you know, 50 cents next, as long as, you know, price remains strong and momentum stays strong. And then probably up towards 65 cents, then on towards 77, on towards 93, potentially up towards $1 region. And then obviously you've got the run towards the weekly highs, the weekly close highs, and the open highs, and then obviously the all-time high. So again, just nice level to the upside on Borg. But yeah, obviously one of the strongest ones out there. So that's probably what I'd be looking at going into the end of the year. I don't know about 2026. So I suppose it depends on obviously how long you think the party lasts. But I think going into towards the end of the year, yeah, maybe into 2026, you can start looking at these. Obviously, if it gets back to its all-time high from here alone, obviously you're not even counting, obviously the depths of, 15, 16 cents. But, here alone, that's another 4x from here. And to get back towards its 2021 high, while, probably most coins that were around back then won't get there, is a big achievement for Borg itself. Now, obviously, if it went higher than that, you would probably have to maybe utilize round numbers. So obviously, you've got $2, $3, etc. We could maybe draw a fib retracement of the, the cycle high to the cycle low. And then, bang, there we go. So we've got a level of 265 there using the fib retracements. You could use a few things, but I think obviously first things first is to tackle these higher levels, and let alone, obviously if you're in from down here, that would be a 10x up here, wouldn't it? You'd have 10x Borg if you got in down here. But from here alone, obviously those would be a 4x. But as it stands, yeah, it's done a nice SR test. So its next task up is 50 cents. Obviously get above here. If you trade in low time frame, obviously you've got resistance up here at these highs from where we dropped off at. So you got resistance up here. So let me just get rid of this. So obviously if you're trading at low time frame, you want price to come up, obviously get above, hold, and then obviously go up towards 50. So that's what it needs to do from here on out. Is Stonksy long on everything after this dip? It's not long on things just yet, I don't believe, but it did trade Bitcoin very nicely to the downside. So obviously for those of you that view the channel a lot, you'll know, or Stonksy user, you know just how much we love the 5-minute chart, and especially these double confirmations that we get coming in with the background and the arrow of the same color. And as you can see, that came in at 115,500-ish. So we've traded that all the way to the downside now. Now we haven't had a flip of flip of momentum on the 5-minute or I believe the 1 hour, my two favorites. No. So haven't had a flip of momentum on the 1 hour or the 5-minute. As you can see, that came in around the same point as well. But we'll keep an eye out for it. And obviously, as soon as we see that 5-minute red background close, we could be looking good. Now, obviously, the other thing to take note of is the oscillator. So the oscillator is at -1 and flat as well. Flat at -1. So we'll watch for that. As soon as we start getting that coiling up and going into pink, then that could obviously notify us of some sort of bottom, or at least local bottom on Bitcoin. And again, you see the 1 hour. The 1 hour on the oscillator is completely flat at -1 and is yet to curl up. But again, as soon as that starts to curl up and hits the pink color, then we could be on. Now, what I will mention is obviously it's had a green arrow come in. So it's had a green arrow come in recently, which obviously those of you that know on the 1 hour has got a very high hit rate. If you don't know about that, then you can find a video on it. Let me just show you on the channel to go and watch. Let me show you exactly where it is. If you want to go and have a look at how good those arrows are. This one here. Come and have a look at this one. Uploaded 2 weeks ago. Best Bitcoin trade signal, high hit rate. Come and have a look at that after the stream. And obviously you'll know why this arrow is so important. But yeah, there we go. So I'm optimistic from here on out. Obviously the oscillator is all the way at the bottom on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. Stonksy's traded it down on the 5-minute and the 1 hour. Obviously my personal two favorite time frames. So I'm optimistic from here on out that we're going to bounce. Chart Ronin. Okay, let's have a look. You longed with 100k, so we'll have a look at Ronin next. I called Borg at 20. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. They've been doing some good work on it, haven't they? I've seen that Cyrus, I think it is, has been tweeting a lot about it. I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter. They've been very active. So yeah, they're pushing it up quite nicely, aren't they? Right, let's have a look at Ronin. Let's see, Ronin. I have no idea what this is. Is this the ticker for the Ronin bridge? I don't know. That's the only Ronin I know. What I would say is actually this actually looks, even though obviously the chart is so down, it actually looks quite good here, because what you want is obviously a base to be formed. So, you know, whether this is a new release or whatever, or if the market is just in a general downturn, what you want is obviously some settlement and contraction. So as you can see, we've had bounces and then sell-offs and bounces and sell-offs. But what's happened now is, for the past 6 months, good couple of months, prices came down. It's formed a nice daily range, support, resistance. Also, we've had compression, and as you can see, the volatility is kind of drying up, which obviously is a good thing when you're looking for kind of a macro bottom to be formed. So if we go and actually have a look on the daily, there might be some more price action on this on a different chart. I'm on the Binance 3-day. I didn't realize it was on the 3-day. I thought it was on the 1-day, but it doesn't matter. So we've got a bit of resistance up there. I think that doesn't really matter. I think we go straight up to there then. And then from there, probably up towards there. I think that probably would obviously do until then. Obviously, then you could come across to there if you wanted to as well. Let's go and see. So yeah, like I said, for bottoms to be formed, you want kind of a dry up of volatility, price to contract, and obviously the key thing is no more selling. So as you can see, yeah, the selling pressure has obviously subsided a lot. Now, obviously, if we break above here, we've got some resistance up at 60. And again, we do have some resistance up here, up towards 70/75-ish, anywhere in this zone. So what you could be better doing is obviously just drawing something out like that. However you want to draw it, doesn't really matter, as long as you get the gist of it. Personally, I like to use boxes because, I like to see it as a zone instead of a level more often than not. But yeah, I think obviously, you break out of here, you then got a small push up into here, then obviously above there, all the way towards 130. And this is probably, personally what I'd be looking at. You may be looking at some different levels. I'd be going all the way to $2 from there. And then again, like another 15% up towards there. And then at that point, it's done a huge rally from where it is now. It'll have done a 4 to 5 to 6x. But if it does get above there, again, there's not much really stopping it to then go into 325. So a lot of things like these are just level to level play, because obviously they've been smashed. But they can offer the biggest and most aggressive pump. So that's probably what I'd be looking at in terms of just level to level play on Ronin. If it breaks one, look for the other. You want to see that hold, look for the other, blah, blah, blah. So it looks quite good, yeah. Did you speak about Asta? No, not spoke about Asta. We'll have a look at Asta. Martini got into some diversification of his own channel's audience, so it looks like he is... Oh, right, okay. I don't quite know what you mean by that, but yeah. Subscribe, yeah. Make sure you obviously have subscribed. Make sure you've liked as well. Let's see how many of you have liked. How many of you dropped a like on the stream? 28, that's good going, to be fair. Basically almost all viewers. So if you haven't liked yet, do drop a like. Let's try and get it equal. But yeah, thank you very much for that. Let's carry on going. Let me try and catch up on the chat now. Oh, there's not that many. A gaming token, I think. Ronin will buy back 4.5 million next week of their own coin. There is not the available supply, so price should pump. Yeah, nice. Yeah. And the thing is as well, it's obviously, had a big sell-off and prices contracted quite nicely. So obviously what that shows is anyone who's wanted to sell, or obviously anyone that is dying to get out of the position, has probably already exited. So yeah, it should open the door up for a nice squeeze. But yeah, I kind of like that level to level play on it. It looks mightily fine. Let's go and see what else have we got. Let's try the Pumperoo, baby. Reclaim last night's stinger, although that would seem too easy. Dad, did you? Right, James, I've just saw your message, mate. So I'll just forward that on to BLOFIN now. Hang on. Let me just ask him to have a look for you. Let me just read your message again. Right, I've asked him to have a look, mate, so hopefully that can get sorted for you. Hopefully we can sort that for you. I'll let you know what he says anyway. I'll let you know what he says. Right, what should we look at? So Asta, of course, everyone's current favorite. I'm pained by this, you know. I'm so pained by this. I saw this at 33 cents and didn't buy it. Stupidly. It just kind of went over my head. And yeah, it's just absolutely ripped ever since, hasn't it? Just absolutely ripped ever since. Yeah, I saw it at 33 cents and yeah, just didn't bother buying it. Missed out on like a 4 to 5x. So easy as well, but yeah, there we go. It's come into quite a nice level, to be fair. You know, It's had a retrace, you know, it's had a decent, you know, retrace as well. You know, just shy of obviously 40%, 36%. And I think it looks like it's trying to go again. Now, obviously, low time frame, you can see that there's resistance up here, and then obviously there's basically nothing then until $2 plus. We obviously have formed a nice little SR point here as well. As you can see, we had resistance. We then come in for support. So this is a nice SR point as well. You know, you've got SR here. If we was to fall, let me just chart it out for you quickly. If we was to fall below here, I think, you know, you'd be looking towards 92 cents ish or wherever you want in this box. Once we get above, what level is that? Kind of, if you want it comfortably, kind of 170, then you're on towards the all-time high, and then obviously above $2, then bang, there we go, on to the next. I think they're probably just going to keep sending this. You would imagine so anyway. It's kind of become like the poster boy on it of BSC now, very quickly as well over the past few days. So you'd imagine Binance may just keep sending this. They might not do, they may do. I don't know. But I think it maybe potentially, and it'd be interesting to see what TMG thinks, opens up a perps DEX narrative going into Q4. Obviously, we've already had Hyperliquid, but really that hasn't drove that much narrative, you know, around obviously other perp DEXs. But obviously, Asta has just basically printed people loads of money who got in on it. So it could obviously open up for maybe looking at perp DEXs on Solana, Subi, just anything that kind of fits the narrative for just that kind of being the thing going into Q4. Either that or maybe just Binance coins, maybe BNB coins, whatever. But that's probably what I'll look at on Asta. Yeah, no worries, mate. No worries. I'll let you know what he says. Yeah, that's fine. Of course. Anything, Bram, anything. If anyone wants me to look at anything else, let me know in the chat. Just get your ticker in the chat. Of course. Make sure you go and vote in on the poll as well. Obviously, I'm guessing most of you have with 37 votes. It's actually not. I thought it was going to be maybe massively over to up. It obviously is the big majority, but I thought it may have even been higher than that. But yeah, if you voted on the poll, thank you very much. I think we're kind of at max capacity on the poll for the viewers that we've got now. But yeah, that's all good. But yeah, get any more tickers you want me to look at, get them in the chat. Pump obviously fell off, but I think, you know, Pump's had a 40% retrace, and again, this is another one where Stonksy caught the full drop. You know, it went red just below 0.008. So it caught a really nice juicy drop on Pump. But again, you know, it's had a 40% retrace, obviously tied in with a liquidation on Bitcoin and the rest of the altcoin market. So it could be the bottom on Pump, could be close to a bottom, and maybe it'd be ready to go back to the highs or new highs. But yeah, I mean, days like this, normally, you know, could mark a very significant opportunity. Fast forward a couple days, this time next week, whatever it may be. Liquidation events don't come around very often. You know, we don't typically have this on Bitcoin that often to this velocity. I mean, the fact that, you know, obviously we was bleeding down all weekend, wasn't we, slowly? Just up to 116k on Saturday and then kind of just started to fall off. But, you know, the velocity on that within 2 5-minute candles, just bang, there we go. Obviously, we don't get that very often. And the fact it had this effect on altcoins as well. I mean, look at altcoins. You know, Bitcoin's only down 2%. Some altcoins are down over 10%. Overall, I would say the average looks to be around 6, 7, 8%. But I mean, just look at the state of it. I mean, look at that on Pi. This worked on forming this as well. This had formed support here for like nearly 2 months as well. And then it just ripped through it, just absolutely destroyed it. Cato back sub $1. Yeah. But may not stay like this for a while. You know, it could, like I say, it could have formed the liquidation needed to go higher. Mix, look at that. That's now sub 10 again. TWT, this was another one, wasn't it? That got sent over the weekend by CZ, or last week. Look at that as well. Stonksy again doing its magic. Came in, 1.3. Bang, there we go. But yeah, this was another one, obviously, that just got absolutely sent, didn't it, by CZ? Where is it? There we go. Just non-stop bullet train from 0.8. Clean near 2x towards the highs. And of course, just bang, retrace, back into the key area. There we go on TWT. Worst case scenario, obviously, if Bitcoin drops again, maybe start looking down towards there. But this could, again, you know, alongside Asta, maybe be ready to go back up. Oh, let me just move that back in there. Chet Merle. I'll have a look now, Coding. Lido. I'm looking forward to your opinion about Bitcoin / ETH when New York opens in 24 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously hard to predict what Bitcoin is going to do after a move like this. You know, you've got on one hand, you've got ETFs come in, just start buying a dip straight away, just start ripping it back to the upside, and maybe just put a full bid on all day. The other hand, you've got another shakeout, instill some more panic, and then maybe draw it up for the rest of the day. You've also got just continue the downside, haven't you? Personally, I think it's hard to predict the first like 30 minutes. But I think generally what we'll see over maybe today and into the rest of the week is a push back to the upside. I think as a general, like what's going to happen next, I kind of like this as a bottom or close to a bottom, even if it comes down and fills in the wick and then pushes back up. I like it as an overall bottom. Not to say that it is, but you know, it could be. Don't ignore ZBCN. Okay, we've got a few to look at, haven't we? Why is OG pumping so fast? Any reason? I don't know, to be honest. Boxing fan. How long have you been using Stonksy? As I have been out the game for a few months and it seems popular. I've been using it since inception. Obviously, this is the Stonksy channel. I run the Stonksy channel, so I've been using it since the start. We first went public with it just over a year ago. So it's been like actively used by obviously users for just over a year. But yeah, I've been using it obviously a little longer than that. But yeah, it's great, mate. It's great. If you're just getting back into the swing of things, come and join us. And that obviously goes for anyone else. If you've not joined Stonksy yet, like I said, we've got 35% off lifetime and annual plans, and they're automatically discounted at checkout. So you go, you click on one of these to sign up, automatically takes 35% off annual or lifetime. But if you want to come and try it for a month, you can get 20% off. Again, here it's at the top of the screen. But that's this one. So put code BOT20 in on this one, and that'll get 20% off your first month. This one is just the oscillator in Discord. So when you sign up to Stonksy, you get indicator access, which is what you can see on the screen here with the channels, the background color change, the bullish bearish arrows, automated. These lines are automatically plotted by Stonksy as well. It automatically plots SR lines, and then the oscillator as well. That's part of Stonksy. So you get the indicator, the oscillator, the Discord server, and we run trading bots on BLOFIN as well. So when you sign up for a package, that's what you get. And that is obviously across the lifetime, annual, and monthly. That's what you get. You get access to everything. This Stonksy Oscillator one is obviously limited because it's a lot cheaper. So you just get Oscillator, which is here at the bottom, and Discord access, and that's it. But the promotion and the discounts that we've got on across the others, whether you come sign up for a lifetime or annual, like 35% off, or you come and try it for a month for 20% off. Obviously, you get access to everything on them, so it's a great option. Anyway, let's go and see some of these tickers. Let me get them loaded up, and we'll go one by one. So let's go Merl. Then what was the next one? Lido, OG, ZBCN. What was the other one? Can't remember. What was the other one? I'm missing it. Oh, Lido. Let's see. LDO. LDO's already on the watch list. Oh, here we go. So Bitcoin's now coming back towards the resistance of this 5-minute range. No worries. Thanks for that, man. Martini promoted it and gave it a big thumbs up, so we'll get involved. Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, it's owned. TMG owns Stonksy. Yeah. If you don't know, Boxing Fan or anyone else, TMG owns Stonksy. It's his indicator. It's his company. So that'll be obviously why you've seen him talk about it. But yeah, like I said, some really good discounts on. It's a fantastic product. There's all the help you need inside the Discord. Myself and other members of the team are in the Discord, so on hand, whatever. Plenty of content on the YouTube channels. And what I'm also starting doing is loading up some Discord sessions in the Discord. So yeah, like just we'll all jump in a lounge or something and speak together. So that'll be all going on. 0G. Oh, 0G, not OG. Let's see. Okay. Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll leave them there. Let me go and do LDO while it's already on the list higher up. And then obviously we've just got them over 3 in a row then. Let's go take a look. Now, the thing with these is, the thing to note with LDO and others. So what would I put in the same bracket as LDO? I would put Aave in the same bracket. I would put Compound in the same bracket. I would put Arbitrum, OP, Polygon, kind of. I don't know if it really how that trades anymore, to be honest. Potentially ENA, anything basically ETH beta, anything that's on the ETH network, natively ETH, obviously tied to ETH strongly in some way. You can put them all in a basket. And obviously, if ETH does well, they'll do well. If ETH obviously doesn't do well, they may do obviously worse than ETH. And as you can see, that's down nearly 10%. But typically, obviously, you've got betas to things, and they're all ETH betas. So as you can see, it did actually form some pretty good, daily demand. We had it holding here from the end of August and September. Now, what I will say is this could easily close back inside, and it could just be a complete liquidity wipeout from here. It could just come wipe out that liquidity, put in a swing failure pattern, and close back in, and that just be, obviously a retest on the daily. There's nothing really downside there, obviously, apart from down here. So there is obviously this place here, which I would obviously consider a key point, but there's nothing really there to look at. And as you can see, it's kind of trying to get back in. Yeah, there's nothing really there. I mean, maybe we'll have to take something from across here, something like there. Otherwise, it's obviously just going to go back down towards 90 cents. But I would have probably these as areas of interest. If we do go lower, you could definitely see these coming in. Now, obviously, to the upside, zoom out. I am still obviously got resistance up here. You got resistance up here. And then I'm still waiting for it to come into here. So that would be kind of the next level. Obviously, if it does manage to get above there, in towards just under $2, you know, the 190 range is obviously where it would come into supply then up here. If it does get above there, then, you know, you're looking in and towards this zone here. You're in towards 230 to 240 then from that point on. But I mean, yeah, it's a bit more difficult, Veldio. It's not kind of at any immediate levels apart from obviously this support one. Obviously, if Bitcoin turns around, then this will just put in a swing failure pattern. It will just be a liquidity wipeout and it will close back inside, which then obviously opens up the chance for it to bounce here and then start obviously heading back towards 155-ish. Bitcoin is pushing back up towards 113 as well. So let's have a look at the rest of them. Merlin. But this is what I was on about. Do you remember when we charted Ronin just before? So you can see Ronin there. As you can see, looks just kind of flat, doesn't it? It's just compressed. Nothing really going on, which is good. It's what you want after a severe downtrend. You want price to compress, do nothing, and obviously build a base for accumulation. Now you look at Merlin. It did the exact same thing. You know, if we zoom out on this, you can see had a big downtrend, came in, and then what did it do? It built a base, traded, obviously, price action compressed tightly, and then eventually, you know, then it went, there you go, bang, and obviously that's in and around a 3x, obviously from the middle of this kind of daily range that it built. So that's obviously what you're looking for. You know, these patterns, you just have to be patient with them and obviously hope they come off. You know, you don't just want to be doing it on any random piece of shit. But if it's got something about it, then obviously it's just a game of patience and waiting for it to turn in the market. But as you can see, Ronin and Merlin, the two ones, this is kind of pre-breakout and obviously, you know, turnaround in momentum. And this is obviously like completed, done, breakout, and then you're onto it. Obviously from here, it has came into supply. It has came into supply up here. So it could carry on from here, but I think it would be a bit tough for it. But, you know, if it does, I'd be up towards 50 cents next. But, you know, you could definitely see it maybe falling off from here. ZBCN, there's nothing really much going on with this, is there, at all? For a good long while. Let's zoom out to the weekly. Okay, right, so there's not much going on there. There's nothing really much I can say on this, I don't think. You know, kind of just waiting for it to break out, aren't you? I mean, if you are into your patterns, something that I, you know, can notice straight away is obviously, you know, you could maybe draw some wildly shaped pattern on it or something. I don't know. I'm not really big into drawing patterns, to be honest. But I thought that, you know, maybe kind of does reminiscent of kind of some form of pennant, isn't it? But yeah, there's nothing really much you can say on this. I mean, it's obviously come back in and is, you know, tested down towards the lows there. This is basically just stuck within a range, isn't it? You know, it's just stuck within kind of a daily range there. So it's just stuck within a range there. If it breaks to the downside, obviously you're looking then down towards 2.9 and, you know, anywhere in and around there. If it breaks to the upside, then obviously you want to start looking back towards around 0.6-ish. And finally, oh wow. Okay, so this got listed on Binance today, did it? Yeah. Right, let me get rid of this one and let's find a different chart of it. The MEXC one, that will have plenty of price action, I assume. Oh no, right, okay. I have no idea. Whoever asked for OG, I can't really say much on it because there's not really much price action at all. So I have no idea what it is, why it's been listed, whatever. But it seems like it's been listed on all exchanges straight away. So yeah, so it's been listed on like even Binance straight away today. So it must be quite a big release. But yeah, back to Bitcoin anyway. Back to Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin again. Just, you know, we're just building a low time frame base. Price is stabilized. Oh, hang on. Just let me fix the camera. Camera zoomed in on my face. Hang on. Just let me fix that. Won't be a second. Oh yeah, that was it. Ubram, yeah. It was listed a few days ago. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, we'll look at linear. I mean, let's have a look. Let's go and have a look on CoinMarketCap. Let's see. Bloody hell. Well, it's at a $1 billion market cap. No, it only started trading today. Well, that's what I'm seeing anyway. On all exchanges, it's saying today. And then on CoinMarketCap, it's saying today as well. So I don't know. There's nothing really much. I mean, what is it? What's it on? It's on BSC. Yeah. OG Foundation. We are leading the way to make AI a public good. The OG Foundation is the steward of decentralized AI and public good. It's a huge drop, whatever it is. So it's an AI blockchain. Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about it, but it must have some good backing, given that it's gone, it's launched at $1 billion and it's launched on all exchanges on day one. So let me see if my camera's fixed. So it looks obviously like it's got some huge backing. Now, as for price, can't really say anything because it's got no price action. So we'll have to wait for a bit. We'll have to wait for a bit to get some price action. Anyway, right, let's see. I think my camera should be back on now. Right, is it back on? There we go. There we go. Right, we're back. I thought OG ICO was $50. It might be a different thing. I don't know if there's another one called that or what. It might be a different thing. Right, Bitcoin's coiling up quite nicely going into US Open. Let me get rid of this poll now. So we had 43 votes on that in the end, and a 65% for the up, which is obviously good. So thank you to everyone that voted on that. What's doing much? Pepe not doing much. Yeah. So now we see. Now we see. I mean, the thing is, we could see. Obviously, I can't remember the last time we had a day like this, but I do remember there was a day kind of like this where Bitcoin was down and altcoins were down considerably. And then on the same day, they all flipped green. If Bitcoin goes back towards 114, 115K today, we could see just a complete reversal on altcoins and them go back into the green. That's how drastic it could be. But it's trying, innit? It's trying, obviously, at this resistance point. There'll just be a sell wall here. You'll imagine there'll be a sell wall around 113K. And it just needs to break that to come and fill in this fair value gap. Apparently, holding linear will do something for MetaMask airdrop, either multiplier or they'll drop to linear holders. You would imagine maybe it would be a multiplier because you would find it hard that they wouldn't drop it to MetaMask holders because that would just rub people up the wrong way, wouldn't it? If you're a MetaMask user and you do an airdrop and you don't get given any tokens, you are just going to go to a different wallet. Is my point of view anyway. Could be wrong, but it would just seem completely idiotic of them to do it that way. Let's see linear. So this thing launched and really didn't have any real sell-off, did it? So this thing launched, obviously come out the gates, settled around 2.5 cents, then went up to 3 cents just above, come back down to the same level. So this thing hasn't really had that typical, new launch sell-off. Obviously, like you see, recently we saw it on Pump Fun and obviously others where you get a launch where it goes up and then obviously it just slow bleeds down, bottoms off, like, he's looking at them bottoms, and then obviously then starts to go up like that. But this hasn't had it, just kind of launched, built a range and then went. What is this? I saw a lot about this when it first came out, but I can't even remember what it is, to be honest. Is it an L2? What is it? So it's 500,000 market cap. So not massive. Not massive. It's got it's only got 21.5% of the tokens circulating. So it's an L2. So it's another L2. I don't know how many L2s we need. I don't know how many L2s is enough and how many L2s we need, but we've got another L2. There we go. How many L2s do we really need? Is my question. We've got 3 minutes to go until US Open. Obviously, for those of you that this is your first time here as well, there's a little treat in for you for when we open US. You'll have to wait and see. How we doing, Delta? Great to see you, the Delta fella. What's good, mate? What's good? L2 by consensus, who are fans of MetaMask. Okay, so it does make sense that maybe it's some sort of multiplier then, yeah. Co-founder of ETH is the owner of Consensus, yeah. So it would make sense if it's by the same company. And the thing is, they've just done one token, so it's going to be very, very easy for them to do another. You would hope that the MetaMask airdrop would be massive, because obviously a lot of people would be in for quite an amount. Now, I particularly have used MetaMask of late, but not massively. I've kind of swapped over to like Phantom and other ones, but I have used MetaMask for about 5 years or so now. So I'm hopeful that obviously if they're going to drop anything, they'll drop it. How does everyone think that they'll distribute base tokens? I'm hoping that Coinbase users will get some as well. He's the owner of SharpLink Gaming. Oh, yes. I know. SBET. Yeah. SBET token. SBET stock, sorry. Yeah. Right, we are coiling up nicely. We're coiling up nicely. Moving into open here. Come on, then. Show your hand, market. Show your hand. Pepe. Yeah, I'm keen to see what will go on from here. Hoping Coinbase users get like 10% to base. Yeah, I'm hoping so. I mean, yeah, I've been a Coinbase user for a good long while as well. So hopefully there's something in for it. You would imagine so, wouldn't you? Again, it would just be be a good way to reward people. It would be a good way to reward people. You would imagine that base users would be in for something as well. But yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I know we discussed it, I think, on Friday and maybe Thursday as well. But Q4 is setting up to be potentially mental with how many big drops could be coming our way. With all this news, there's probably loads more projects that are now thinking of doing a token or gonna do one. Right, we've got just over 10 seconds. 10 seconds to go. So let's get ready for US Open and see what the market is going to bring us today. What are we in for? That's the question, isn't it? What are we in for today? Let's hope it's good. There we go. So we are open. The US market is open. Let's see. So crypto-related stocks. Circle opened 3.4% lower. Coinbase down 3%. MicroStrategy down 2.6%. The actual stock market has not really moved today. Nvidia down almost 1%. Apple up 1.6%. Tesla also up 1.5%. And then not much movement off the rest. A little bit of a mixed bag there on the S&P, on the Magnificent 7 as well. And we're not getting much Bitcoin movement, are we? Straight out the bag there. We're not getting much Bitcoin movement. We are pushing down a little bit now, but not a huge amount. So if base is 20 billion fully diluted value, that would be 4 billion airdrop at 20%, with 10% split between Coinbase users and people using base. So maybe a 2 billion split. either way, I mean, that'd be nice. Yeah. Anything 4 figs and above would be, I would consider a very nice present. But we'll see, won't we? We'll see. I think, obviously, if with MetaMask looking to do one as well, you would naturally think that Phantom may now to move to do one as well. We've also got Meteora doing one, OpenSea doing one. You would assume that Polymarket will do one as well. So yeah. So it could be some, like I said, there could be 5 or more of huge multi-billion-dollar, maybe even tens of billions, obviously depending on what time of the market we're in. New token drops. Could be some tasty airdrops as well. Base only has 350k active users as well. Yeah, so I mean, it will probably go off, obviously, usage, won't it? But there's probably enough there for at least to get some. I've kind of not thought about it overly much because I don't like not knowing. Do you know what I mean? I would rather know what I'd be in for than not. But yeah, we've got literally no volatility on open, haven't we? We've literally got no volatility on open. Morning, Tantana. Did this dip make us? It didn't. No, mate. It came in just normal trading. Unfortunately. Right, let's move on to something else now. Let's go. Right. Buying Link, mate. You're forever buying Link. You're forever buying Link. Where is it? Oh, Link? Yeah, had a nice drop, didn't it? Had a nice drop. Came nicely into my level as well. I mean, it's wild, isn't it? 'Cause that is literally a 10% drop within 2 candles, basically. Like very, very close to being a 10% drop within 2 candles. But yeah, I like Link. Link, like I've mentioned last week, I think it's probably the altcoin that is the easiest / cleanest to trade out of them all. Not as big of a fan of it as you, mate. I don't think there's any bigger Link Marine than you. I have some side capital I want to deploy into, take a guess, Link. Well, mate, you've been given a gift today, then, haven't you? If you're looking to deploy, then you've been given a gift today. Inge. Oh, I tell you what, yeah, we haven't looked at Inge in ages. Let's see. Where is Inge? It's in and around here. Here it is. I haven't looked at Inge in ages. Right. Again, this is, and maybe you noticed this. Maybe you guys have noticed this, but a lot of things have just built a range over the past kind of 2 months. things that haven't moved. So again, this is just testing daily demand. Literally just stuck within its range. Now, obviously, if it comes out, it could come out and liquidate and then close back inside. Or if it does come down, you're looking for in there, aren't you? You're looking down towards kind of like 1050-ish. Anywhere in here would obviously be the logical next stop for it to the downside for the. If you're looking upside, then you've just got you've got loads to look at. You've got here. You've then got here. So they're probably the two I'd be looking at as immediately upwards. Now, while this is resistance on the daily close, we do have to clear 1650 as well. So this all obviously depends on how you like to draw. Stonksy's got it drawn here quite logically as well, because obviously if you go back, you've got resistance, obviously looking at the peaks. But around the daily closes, obviously this is where it came in. So you could draw it up here, you could draw it there, wherever. Obviously, just means that, you maybe have to be a bit cautious in this little bit here, this pocket, if you're looking at obviously around the daily closes. But obviously up towards 20, up towards 25, 26. And then, you're on to 30 plus then, aren't you? You're on looking towards 30 plus. You could actually get rid. To be fair, we could actually just get rid of that and just look straight in here, because that is where supply is. And there we go. So they'd be my levels on Inge. Obviously breaking out to resistance wherever you want to draw it, up towards 20, then into this supply area here, and then obviously up towards 33, 34. Are we falling off on Bitcoin again? We're falling off on Bitcoin again. No, not had a mass amount of volatility. To be fair, it's a very calm open, and considering the volatility we had this morning, it's a very, very calm open. Nice price link at though. It isn't going away. Did you see one of their team join the government body to advise a crypto policy? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't see that. I must confess. I didn't see it. So now we've got a bit of a feel for the US market. It's starting to push down a bit. We could just come and liquidate the low and then bounce back up. I'd be prepared for anything today. Anything could happen, couldn't it? I would be prepared for anything today. Yeah. We could get anything from here on out. So Asta rejecting at resistance again. Does anyone think that the Asta website just doesn't look that good? I think it doesn't look that appealing. Howdy, Steve-O. You got in at 28.7. How was your gig on security over the weekend, mate? Is it all right? I mean, yeah, the thing with linear is it's just creating like higher highs and higher lows, isn't it? Obviously we had initial launch and then small sell-off, and then obviously just base formed, and then we had a high, higher low, high. So obviously we're now coming in for a higher low. Yeah, I mean, there's not massive amount of price action to go off, is there? What I would say is, obviously, if we remove all them drawings there, you'd probably say it bounced, in and around the right region. Hang on, rather draw that there. Yeah, you would say it bounced in and around the right region. Obviously that is now demand and support until proven otherwise. And then obviously not really got much resistance to go off. If we fall below there, then you would think it's coming back in towards there. So you got a decent one, 28. What was it, 28.7, something like that. You're up a little bit so far, but might just be a game of patience. Who knows? Yeah. Oh yeah. The blood's coming. I think maybe they might just come and liquidate the low. So from here, we might see just that low liquidated, and then obviously this one remain protected. Or we could just come for that low completely and then maybe start the bounce. Alternatively, we might not do any of that. We might just carry on just messing about here. We could have no volatility for the rest of the day now. Ben Sherwin, he is General Counsel of Chainlink Labs, joined some digital assets markets subcommittee for US government. Oh, that's good. That's very good, yeah. That is very, very good. Yeah, I mean, Chainlink's one of them ones, and it's not the most exciting. It's not, it's not the most flashy and stuff like that, but, you know that it's kind of secure and safe in how it trades in the market. And, of course, it actually does something, and obviously strongly tied to ETH as well. So, it's obviously a real safe bet in the market is Link. Yeah, big fan of how it trades. I've grown to have a bigger love for Link as well in terms of how it trades from doing these streams, because of how cleanly you notice that it trades its levels. Yeah, we've not really got much. If anyone does want me to look at anything, let me know, and we'll look at that. What should we move on to next? Let's have a look. Let's have a little look. Piff? Yeah, we'll have a look at Piff. Dave is becoming a Link Marine. He is going to become like them. Nah. That's not me. I don't actually hold any Link. Is it from a spot perspective anyway? I don't actually hold any Link. I just like how it trades. Piff. Let's see. Right, we haven't looked at this in a while, have we? We haven't looked at this in a good long while. Let me get rid of these. Look at that. I don't remember the last time I looked at this, but if that was from after this pump, then I missed out big time. Yeah, I mean, pretty standard. You can still see that this is still SR. So the kind of like 15 cent level is still SR. This, you would say, we can get rid of that. We can just draw this flat across there now. That is resistance. Up here is supply. Look at that, it's pinged right into that, didn't it? I can't remember the last time we looked at this, but judging off them levels, it was before this happened. I don't know what caused that. But as you can see, we've got supply there. So what is happening with price? Well, obviously, it needs to hold SR. From there, obviously, it just means it's trading above here into there. Once it gets above resistance, probably one-way ticket then to come and test supply again. If it gets above there, then I've already drawn out. Oh, yeah, look at this. I've already drawn out the next supply zone. So you would think, obviously, then expansion in towards here, and then probably we fall and do something like we've done this time. So yeah, that's where we're up to with PIF. I mean, if it falls, I suppose maybe the question may be, what if it falls below SR? Then it could get tricky for it. It could get tricky for it because obviously this was just one big 4-hour candle. There was literally like nothing left behind. So that could get filled in and it could get pretty nasty. So yeah, you know, you could be then looking like just anywhere generally in and around filling in this candle as a bottom. So you could be looking 13 cents, 12 cents, whatever, back to the origin. But obviously as it stands, it's holding this, so it's kind of just within its trading range. But yeah, that would have been a great short. Look at that bang. Someone said bonk as well, didn't they? Started getting in at $4 to $5 for spot hold. Oh, at Link, yeah, nice. That's nice. Yeah, no worries, Scotty. No worries, mate. Sadly, we had a vicar tell us to go to a certain word and get out of there because he doesn't believe in the Antichrist. Then the owner of the business came out and told us to get the F out. We didn't even get a chance to park the bus. So we went to pub and drank. Oh, well. At least you ended up having a good couple drinks then. Let's have a look at bonk. Bonk need to redo some of this. Let me get rid of this and get rid of this. Right. Yeah. So bonk. I think, you know, it's pretty still pretty standard. You've got 3 upside levels of resistance. 1, 2, 3. Okay, some of them are pretty close to each other, to be fair. So you got 1 resistance, 2 resistance, 3 resistance. Downside, you've got support down here. We also have obviously a potential SR level here, so we could actually come down, maybe wick them, come into here fast, and then reclaim something like that. Obviously, if we get below there, then that's not overly good, and you know, you could end up coming back into there then. So there's bonk anyway. That's my they're kind of the levels I'd be interested on bonk, and that obviously provides some quite big movement. So, yeah, that's probably what I'd be looking at on bonk. Where are we on Bitcoin? I mean, what would be good, obviously from here, while Bitcoin stays messing around, is if altcoins started showing some strength. So if altcoins started showing some strength as we was down here, then obviously that would be a bonus, because then it may allude to the fact that, you know, obviously the bottom may be somewhat in anyway. I mean, altcoins are sticking around quite nice. Obviously, it's the same for Bitcoin. But if we can start to get some bigger relief on altcoins, then yeah, then that may be good. But overall, we're just kind of waiting for Bitcoin to do something, aren't we, from here? That's what we're waiting for. Come on, let's see this push up. Right, so what's interesting is we're coming out of that obviously 20-minute, half an hour first window of US, and the prices remain settled. So keen to see, obviously, if this gives Bitcoin the fuel to push back up. Would be nice, wouldn't it? That'd just be the liquidation, and then that's it. Done. Resume uptrend. Just pour myself a nice another coffee. Uni. I'll have a look now. I think next bull market when I trade, I'm just adding margin to low leverage longs to avoid liquidation and keep them open. Yeah, I mean, definitely one potential strategy in it. I like that. I mean, the current positions I've got on are low leverage. If not spot, low leverage, like 2 or 3x. And that way you can sleep well at night as well. You know, if you were anything, you know, up to, you know, 8x or above overnight on altcoins, you basically either got wiped out or very close to it. Uniswap didn't actually quite get into my level of interest, to be fair. It didn't really get into my level of interest. However, we have come into a nice region. I think Uniswap looks good. I think Uniswap looks good here. I mean, if it was to go any lower, you know, you look on the daily. If it was to go any lower, I'd probably be looking down here. Seems like a bit of a stretch, doesn't it? But yeah, I mean, it's kind of rinse and repeat on everything, innit? Like, you know, this is obviously in the pile of if ETH does well, you know, then Uniswap will do well. But again, you know, if you want some levels of interest, obviously up towards $14. I should probably refine that, to be fair. Let's see. Let me see what I can take from there, because that box looks a bit too big. Yeah, right, there we go. We're refined on that now. So that's kind of the outlook on Uniswap for me anyway. Is, you know, obviously we've got, you know, got immediate low time frame resistance there, but ultimately this red line is obviously high time frame resistance. We then obviously have a move up then towards $15, and then obviously above there up towards the December high of, you know, late $18, $19, and then from there up towards 28. And that's it. And obviously they're the high time frame positions. Ooh, yes. Come on then. Come on, let's give that break back up. Let's give that break back to the upside. Up we go. Come on. That is what that Crypto did. He made like 30 mil from longs and just kept adding to his positions. Yeah, and the thing is, you remain low risk then, don't you, as well? You know, you remain low risk, but it's a good strategy. Yeah, good strategy. And the thing, and you don't pay as big fees as well for having, you know, say 2x or 3x leverage. So it's not costly to keep them open. 107k is a lot of liquidations. True, but that would also be a gift, wouldn't it? If you go down to 107k and just basically just retest the lows and sweep liquidity perfectly, you're just basically offering long positions on a silver platter. If you go in that low, you may as well overshoot it and go down towards 105 or something and give a proper scare and a shakeout, as opposed to just coming touching demand again and just offering it on a silver platter. Here you go, it's the easiest long ever. Is my thoughts on some things like that anyway. It's how I like to think about it. Is a bit more like psychological as well as technical. You know, does going down there just basically give the prime long opportunity? Probably, yeah. So either we don't go down there or it overshoots it and scares people. It's what I think about it anyway. Could be wrong. Who knows? When you add margin to your trade, does that change the entry in position? Never done. Yeah, it does. Yeah. So it depends on what you mean. So you can add margin just to lower the liquidation level. So say, for instance, you know, you've got a position open. You can just add margin into the trade to lower the liquidation. If obviously you're trading like, you know, entry to liquidation. But obviously if you've got an open position and then you add more to it, then yeah, that will obviously change the entry. So for instance, you know, if I'm right, let's have an example here. Right, let's say let me find something. Right, so long position, right? So let's say I enter a long. Let's say I enter a long here. So let's just say this is price action, right? Whatever, right? I enter a long here, and price starts to go up, right? Price is going up and up and up, whatever. We get a pullback, and then, right? So say for instance, like I'm on 5x leverage with $1,000 of margin. So I've got 5k position size, $1,000 of margin, 5x leverage. So then I go, right, I want to add some to this. So I want to add another $250 of margin. You would then just open another trade. So say this on Bitcoin at the same leverage, but obviously with $250 of margin. So then you would add that in. And then obviously what that would do then relative to the position size and then the margin that you add in would obviously then move up your entry to, you know, the associated difference. So it may move it up a bit. So then obviously your entry would be moved up, then your liquidation will be moved up. And also obviously automatically your take profit and stop loss will be altered. So obviously if you add margin to a trade, your stop loss is in, you know, your risk is increased, but also the amount that you could potentially take profit for is also increased. So yeah, obviously the risk reward increases as well. And Bitcoin's pushing up nicely. Come on then, keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Let's have a breakout to the upside. But yeah, that is everything for today. So I hope that helped. If you average buy in, then the entry price lowers. But if you just add margin, your liquidation lowers. Yeah, exactly what Bram said there. What would happen if I bunged 2k on top? Well, if you just added 2k of margin in, then it would just lower your liquidation significantly. If you just bunged 2k in, then it would just pull your entry a lot higher. But yeah, Bitcoin's looking like we could get a nice push back to the upside now. So let's see. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. It's been great. Thank you obviously to those of you that come over from TMG's channel. If you did, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join me for my daily live streams. Make sure you get involved. Look at the Stonksy content that's on the channel. Of course, sign up to Stonksy. Like I mentioned, 35% off lifetime and annual, automatically applied. 20% off up for grabs on the monthly. Come and join us. Get full indicator, oscillator, Discord server, and trading bot access. So it's definitely worth doing it. And obviously, I'm in a Discord as well. But yeah, Bitcoin's looking like we could be on the cusp of maybe starting to explore back to the upside. So let's see. Set itself up quite nicely, hasn't it? But yeah, thanks for joining. Come back and see me tomorrow. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Have a great day. Bye for now.